All right, Gil, you're live.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. We're going now to cover our cloud-based solution, Portnox CLEAR, NAC-as-a-Service. Together with me, again, Judah will take you through a live demo, and Pascal that is managing Israel and Africa. Thank you very much for joining us, and let's start. So, as you know us, we founded in 2007. We have more or less 600 customers worldwide, combined core and clear, and some nice reward that we receive about our top-age technology. And now, today, we cover already the core with the new milestone of having the radio server capability into core. And today, or right now, we will cover the new feature that coming soon with Clear. So we already mentioned it, that NAC is not only about network access, it's also about to provide you with the right intelligence in order to be able to protect your organization, regardless where your employees and devices, where they are and what type of devices that are, and we will cover it later on. What the difference between NAC as a service to traditional NAC solutions? So, as you know, NAC might be a very difficult and complex project, and that's the reason that I don't know the exact statistic, but a lot of NAC projects fail. It's always, if you're dealing with network or on-prem solution, you need to take care about upgrade and availability. Once again, if we are dealing with global company, it means that each and every site need either physical or virtual machine, and that's something else that you need to maintain on top of everything else that you are doing. As I said, it could be very complex and very, very frustrated project, and that's the reason that most of the NAC or the existing NAC project, it's very difficult on how to move them from the existing vendor, because they are hooked in a way. So what the beauty, what the value that we bring to the table with our NAC-as-a-Service? So first thing first, the setup. Setup, it's basically an instance that's running on Azure, and for a trained employee, it will take you about more or less 30 minutes to create your own instance, and basically you are ready to start using your NAC. And that's a major, major impact about to be able to succeed with the NAC project. We save you the time and the headache in order that it's a NAC-as-a-Service. It means that we will demonstrate to you shortly, we are taking care about almost everything. Starting from upgrade, availability, scalability, and so on and so on and so on. So just to wrap it up together, what it means for you, it means that the ability to succeed is increased in a high percentage with the NAC-as-a-Service. And on top of everything, we save you a lot of the cost. So if you compare traditional on-prem solution to a cloud-based solution, the total cost of ownership will be much, much lower in in the case of the NAC-as-a-Service. And obviously, as you know, SASE, all the SASE applications are very easy and very friendly to use. What it means? It means from our side, it's a radio server that's located, as I said, in Azure, and we are taking care about all the controllers. So it means availability, scalability, upgrade, everything is under our responsibility in our maintenance. Security as well. We are SOC Type 2 certified, and it means that we took the right measurement in order to secure these services. Also, it's important to understand that we don't keep sensitive data in the cloud. Only the usernames are being kept in the cloud. What is required from your side? Basically, it's to enable the .1x. This is a .1x based solution, Reliant solution. And basically, once you enable the .1x and configure the switches, the router that they will pinpoint to the radio server, you have up and running NAC solution. We do have, by the way, some more component to the solution in order to enrich it and to provide you with more capability, like another layer of redundancy by local radius and by increasing the level of security by adding an agent to the device that are required. Once again, the agent is optional, it's not must. By agent, you can achieve secure remote access for VPN user. You can check your device, the level of security or the risk about the devices, what we call continuously posted assessment, and multi-factor authentication as well as part of deploying the agent. But once again, it's an option. You don't have to install anything on-prem in order to have a basic .1x NAC solution. As a cloud services, integration with other cloud parties, it's very simple, very easy. We do have open API to support any kind of integration. We do have a built-in integration with Azure ID. So if your prospect is shifting from traditional Active Directory to Azure, we do support it. G Suite, Microsoft Intune can be used as well to replace our agent in case that you want to have just a compliance check. Okta ID and more, we're adding more and more capability all the time. And that's something that Judah is going to cover with you shortly. As a cloud, it also, for your knowledge, we do support multi-tenant, and that means that this solution actually is fit to MSP as well, that can run multi-user from one place, and that's a huge advantage as well of using NAC-as-a-Service. Prospect, as I told you, we have plenty of prospect all over the globe. I think that our customer covering from the States to Europe, to Africa, to Australia, and basically any reference that you want, we can share with you. And some nomination as well, and so on and so on. So, Judah, you're welcome to take control and demonstrate it to you, to us.
Thanks, Gil. Sharing my screen. So, Portnox CLEAR Cloud Dashboard. You can see it on my screen right now. Basically, let's take you from sign up process. You navigate to clear.portnox.com. You hit sign up with us, and then you have two options: to register using your corporate email, or register using your Azure or Google Workspace identity. From here, you will get our cloud will allocate a tenant for you. And basically, the first thing you might want to do is to get your own radius as a service. And now, if you compare it to traditional NACs, you just need to hit a button. We have a geo cluster here. You get your radius according to your region. This is Europe and Asia. You can get the US one as well. You can get both and use it in redundant set. So Europe is primary, US is secondary. From here, you take it and define it on your network elements. And here we cover all network layers: wired network, wireless, wireless for gas, and VPN. So basically, within several minutes, you are ready to start authenticating your endpoints. I remind you that this public IP you see here, this is a load balancer with several instances behind it. So we provide you with a cluster with load balancer and geo cluster as a service. So this is a European one located in Northwest Europe, Netherlands. This is the US one located in East US, Virginia. Once you have the radius, you shall decide on your authentication repositories. And here we have a very long spectrum from working from using your corporate PKI, and then no integration with no identity provider is required. You just upload your certificate to our cloud, and then you can authenticate your machines and your users out of the box without doing anything else. I remind you that we provide certificate authority as a service as well. We'll discuss it in a few minutes. So certificate authentication is option number one. Other options are authenticated identity provider, from on-prem Active Directory to cloud directory providers, Azure, Google Workspace, and Okta. So actually, if you are going to transfer your directory to the cloud and you look to implement NAC, that might make your choice natural to pick cloud-based NAC-as-a-Service, to pick Portnox CLEAR. So once a authentication repository is onboarded, if it's a certificates or a identity provider, you can map the groups, onboard users automatically. We support both mode, agent-based and agentless. We provide for both options of automatic onboarding to make it transparent for end users. So each one will have its set of access, risk, and remediation. So let's take a look how does it look like in our portal. So let's start with remediation policy. With risk assessment policy. That requires agent P. There's tiny agent P over here. Currently, you can see my device state is healthy. And let's edit one of the policies to check how we define, how we adjust our risk assessment policy. So here it's adjustable scale of alert and block level. You decide. You have many items. We support 5 operating systems: Windows, OS X, Linux, iOS, and Android. And basically, you decide which items are important for your compliance, for your organizational security compliance. For example, you grant 100 points for antivirus. So any problems with antivirus, device goes block level. In a minute, we will see what does it mean. You can ban storage dongles. No USB storage can be connected, or many other USB dongles can be banned. Missing patches. Let's say you require Azure Azure membership. So if someone is trying to connect his personal machine, even using a legit identity, it will be the service will cut it off by posture assessment verification, drive encryption, etc. So this is adjustable risk assessment policy for different OS, for different groups. We are able to set different policies for different groups, and let's see it here. So access control policy. This is group membership based policy. We can set a policy for a group, or for an Active Directory group, or organizational unit, or we can do it per location. So in a specific branch, we will assign a specific VLAN. So let's edit one of the policies to check it. So basically here we set a VLAN access control list or a VPN group assigned upon successful authentication, which basically mean network segmentation by radius. So you can set finance go to finance VLAN, printers stay in printers VLAN, IP cameras will be assigned their dedicated access control list. We can set fallback VLAN from here. So we can, radius just can ban address for any authentication failure, or we can quarantine it in a VLAN or access list. Same for risk assessment policy. This is a kind of secondary remediate VLAN. And what happens if device is blocked by admin, right? So again, adjustable, simple, can do both group membership-based policy or location, physical location-based policy. Let's check remediation. So what's cool about this cloud-based agent P, that it's, as Gil mentioned, it's continuous monitoring. It's check the device state according to corporate security compliance policy, even if it's not connected to a corporate network, which means continuous monitoring. So if one works from home and his device has become risky for any reason, like its antivirus has stopped, we can start its antivirus even if it's at home. So device will be remediated, and we'll make sure that no corporate sensitive resources are exposed to network devices. So basically, we don't need that cycle of remediation and then back to LAN network when it's trying to reach, because it has remediated at home before it tried to access your corporate network. So many items here for Windows and OS X machine. We add more and more items on which production updates. Let's see some live alerts coming in. So here we monitor everything in alerts menu. If device passes authentication, here it's agentless device, pass authentication connected to wireless network by certificate, some authentication violation. This is an agent-based device. You can see its risk score, authenticated by its domain identity connected to a wired network. You can look deeply into device itself to check what kind of information can we pull. Here, we can see its timeline, authentication. We can check or risk policy violation, anything related to device history. Here, we can check why it has its risk score. In this case, it's firewall down and missing patches, missing specific Microsoft KB. So I mentioned that we cover all networks layers. So basically, I explained about wired, wireless, which is pure 82.1x, including posture assessment and change of authorization support. We cover VPN as well, and let's just see our guest network coverage by providing a captive portal with various authentication for guests. So here you are able to upload your logo, to adjust your disclaimer, and then set a method of your guest authentication, like credentials via SMS or sponsored guest, to limit a session, to create sponsors, like give anyone, any employee, anyone that has organizational email to be a sponsor, or create custom lists, or restrict it to the portal admins. Let's go and see our help menu. So basically, in the portal, another benefit of NAC-as-a-Service, you have all the required guide for any module, for any kind for deployment, for any kind of integration. Our security principles are here as well. Like If you want to integrate Azure, you have it here. If you want to integrate SIM service, you have a dedicated guide over here. Let's scroll down and see our best practices for different vendors. So basically, any network element, if it's wired, wireless, or VPN concentrator, or any other elements that supports Radius authentications, are supported in Portnox CLEAR. We provide our best practices, our guides, our best practices KBs for 82.1x integration implementation with Portnox CLEAR. So you can download this guide to go step by step and to onboard your switches, your wireless controllers, your VPN concentrators, following our best practices guide. But again, if it's not here, it doesn't mean it's not supported. We support anything that supports Radius authentication. We provide our RESTful API. You can see a guide here for various actions like onboarding of new devices, block devices or block users. We can check inventory of network over here. Here we concentrate network elements, switches, and connected devices, access points, VPN concentrators, and here you can find devices and to use our filtering capabilities. For example, let's filter risky devices. So I don't have many risky devices over here, so just this one with risk score of 30 points. But many others you can filter by vendor, by connection to specific switch, by device type, by applications, etc. Many filtering capabilities over here. Let's reset all and set and see our entire inventory. So basically, this is a high-level view in this solution. I hope you can see how easy simplicity and automation are two main purposes with this NAC-as-a-Service solution. So do you have any questions so far?
Judah, just before the question, they walk me in TACACS.
Yes, so TACACS will be supported by Q2, including all TACACS capabilities. Like, you adjust VTY on switch, you will be able to create accounts or to integrate your Active Directory accounts and implement TACACS as a service as well. So timeline is Q2 for TACACS.
Walk me.
Yeah, so here it's an education part that we will include shortly. Currently, we are testing that. It will go live, I believe, within a few weeks. So here you can find many onboarding tasks. So basically, using these WalkMe capabilities from introduction to a task to authentication, task on wired, wireless, and VPN, many KBs and guides, and useful video tutorials to start utilizing this product. Sorry, let's mute it. So here, this is an intro to kick off your trial or deployment. Very useful. We believe that following the guides and KB's education tool, you are able to roll out the policy without any assistance. But certainly, as a SaaS, we have our 24/7 support that includes DevOps services for our customers all over the world.
Okay.
So about Sophos, Sophos should be supported on wired, wireless, and VPN. Anything that supports Radius should be supported eventually. If you face problems with Sophos VPN, I'm pretty sure it can be addressed by some troubleshooting.
Hey Judah, I would recommend probably stop sharing your screen.
Sorry, I just checked the question about user guide. So if you go help menu here, you can find the first one is quick start guide for clear kickoff. Again, you go and register in clear.portnox.com using your email or identity provider, and you get access to help. I highly recommend to use the guides over here. So you can start with quick start guide to set values. Then you integrate your identity provider by Portnox CLEAR directory integration, or Portnox CLEAR G Suite integration, or Portnox CLEAR Okta integration. And if you have, let's say, you use Aruba switches, so you can find the guide over here. And then follow it step by step, and to target your Aruba switch to send authentication request to Portnox Radius server. It's pretty straightforward, and start authenticating. We are able to work. It's very important. It is a fail-close architecture, so device is authenticated in layer 2. So we can set monitoring only mode here during deployment, and then once everything is stabilized, we can force our system switch by switch or access point by access point. So kind of gradual enforcement. So I will stop sharing. I'll check the questions again.
And something also, Judah, important to emphasize here. You heard today's session about core and clear, and if something is, especially when you are planning to run any kind of POC, we do have POC scope either for core and clear, something that we required or we encourage you to fill before any session. Share it with us that we know what to expect, and then obviously we can support you in a better way. So in case that you didn't receive from us yet the POC scope either for core or clear, please send us an email and we will come back to you with the right guide for POCs. Another question?
I saw remote wipe. So yeah, we support remote wipe for mobile phones. Actually, it should be again agent-based to perform a remote wipe for currently for mobile phones only. Let's see, can we do switch by switch control for monitor and enforce for market switches? Yes, the answer is yes. Let me share my screen again. So basically, we have that general enforcement or monitoring only mode, but also we can monitor and enforce switch by switch. And when you integrate Meraki, each switch will be presented here, or each access point, so we can keep it in we can keep all of them initially in monitoring mode and then enforce them one by one. Other questions? I need to stop sharing.
IoT and OT.
Yes. So yes. So Portnox, I will share again. So IoT is certainly supported. We are able to onboard and authenticate any device that has supplicant authenticated by 82.1x. Currently, I think most of devices family of IoT families like printers, IP phones, IP cameras, thin clients support 82.1x. They have supplicants. Sometimes it might be tricky to go printer by printer and configure certificate or identity-based authentication. We encourage our customers to do 82.1x as much as possible. to set all possible network network devices to authenticate using K2.1x. Sometimes we need to set MAC authentication accounts, so we can onboard MACs automatically or manually, and manually MAC by MAC, import a list, whitelist the entire vendor, like whitelist Xerox, for example. We can import MACs by API as well. So if it's MAC authentication bypass, we encourage to make sure it doesn't have any access to sensitive network resources. So authenticated by MAC, but isolated in VLAN, for example, printers VLAN or access list upon successful authentication.
Okay.
Other questions?
I think that we are ready to summarize. So I would like to thank you all for joining us today for the two sessions, for the core and for the clear. As you can see, we have either the flexibility to provide you with the right solution per your for your prospect. It means that if if your prospect is more sensitive in a way that it doesn't apply yet a cloud-based solution, so we have the on-prem solution that for the on-prem solution we are adding more and more capability. Here maybe it's the time to mention that it's a live product, it's a live solution. So we had last year the crawling, the way to detect new network devices, automatically auto discovering of network devices. This year we go in the milestone. Obviously there is small feature that we are not going to cover through this session, but we this year the milestone for the on-prem solution is the radius capability, and that's for you as our value partner. It's give you the ability to go back to your prospect customer and suggest them a new capability that wasn't exist before, and obviously to make more money. And with regard to the NAC-as-a-Service, we still have here it's a technology gap. We are the only NAC-as-a-Service solution that exists. We're adding more and more capability into it. So we mentioned today TACAX, and we're going to add more and more capability down the road. And for you that have additional questions and want to take it offline and to discuss something specifically with us, you are more than welcome to do it. And I would like to thank you, Judah, to present it today, and all of you to join us, and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. See you later.